Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright. We are continuing with day 2 of our scientific investigation into the teleporting corpse. Last time we discovered that it might not actually be science, it might actually be stage magic that we're dealing with here. Which, I mean, who could have seen that coming, right? Wouldn't be the first time that we had something like that happen. But exactly why it was happening remains a mystery, and exactly who was behind it, because apparently the person who died might be also the person who orchestrated the entire thing. Possibly. I mean, they might also be... It's according to some witnesses, they were even the one that shot the balloon. Or at least someone who looked just like them, so we're either dealing with... we might be finally figuring out why that wax corpse, or wax statue was stolen, or we're dealing with a doppelganger here. Or neither. You know, there's a third option that we might have been hinted at as of the investigation from 2 streams ago now. Perhaps that'll be coming into play today. I have a feeling though that's probably not going to be a thing until like next stream when we go back to court, most likely. But also she's back. She's been on a boat for the last 6 months, pretty much like the entire time of the time jump. She got back, she did her trial, and then just immediately left. Right after that. But at least she's back here. I was kind of thinking that she wouldn't be back for the entire thing. We just have like either Iris or Sholmes show up as our assistant in court. I would have been fine with that personally, but this is fine too.
Oh, this room. It's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest though. And it's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to stay so familiar.
Yeah, I bet even that dust pile over there is just the way you remember it, right? I didn't know when you might return, and I want everything to be as you left it. Yeah, so that's why he didn't clean. See, that's everyone's excuse why they don't clean. They don't want to change anything. Just leave things right where they are, you know? It's easier to find that way, especially when you're looking for that one particular dust particle. You don't want to move it around, you're never going to find it again. But it has been some 6 months, it's true.
So is your father alright, Susie? What happened? My father?
Yeah, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago, but that's why you went back to Japan. Because of the telegram you received saying he'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason.
That's right. So I was surprised to learn you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised but happy.
You gonna tell the truth?
I think I wrote about in my letter to you that it was all a trick. My father is from fine health, and I'm obviously very relieved about that.
Well, we're all delighted to have you back.
It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium.
The International Forensic... that's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned. Oh yeah, that's probably happening today too, right? Oh no, was that yesterday? I think that was yesterday, because he mentioned it during Days 1 investigation. He said it was tomorrow. So it probably was happening during the trial. And that's probably where she was.
Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris. Oh!
You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan. Yeah, we need to see that reaction.
Yes, of course I shall.
And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About you-know-who. About Kazuma.
I know. I'll tell you all that I can. When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But, curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely.
The awful trial? Oh yeah, for the murder of Giselle Brett.
Oh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie? Oh, well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice. Wow, amazing! I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Bruno?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I want to play at being a lawyer now. I could wear a false mustache, maybe.
I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. Boy, he'd be in for quite a shock if you know, time traveled 100 years in the future. Fucking 16-year-olds playing prosecutor. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Mr. Sato. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikotoba summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter it had something to do with that convict's loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings.
That's right. The very large dog collar we found with the bee emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time in Britain. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet. How would that be, then? Father came to Britain himself, of course, but to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers for myself. And I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets. Oh, Susie.
Alright, so if you're not keeping secrets, well, you know, there's someone right here that I'm sure would love to hear something about a certain family member of the parental persuasion. Yeah, you want to tell her that? That's a very meaningful look Susato-san's giving Iris there. Oh, maybe she actually does mean to tell it. Shit. Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend.
Yes, and from Japan. My father and Judge Jigoku have been invited. It's been something of an honor, I believe.
Well, Professor Mikotoba is the leading expert in forensic medicine in our country, after all. But who's the other person you mentioned? A judge, did you say?
Yes, His Excellency Judge Seishiro Jigoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruhodo. Last year, in the Supreme Court. You can't possibly have forgotten. That terrible trial of yours where you were accused of murder.
Ah, yes. I try to think of that as a positive turning point in my life these days.
Well, it was Judge Jigoku who presided over that trial.
I totally forgot that they gave the judge a name. If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy never to see that man's face again in my life.
Oh, well, anyway, as Father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain too. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end he agreed to me going on ahead.
Yes, about the symposium. It seems as though Lord Strongheart has put in an awful lot of work to make it happen. It's obviously very important.
I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General.
The most senior position in the British justice system.
He's hoping to use this power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said anyway. Apparently it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition.
Ooh, do we have a motive? Is that a motive I smell? Perhaps he really is behind everything else then. Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart personally then, I wonder? Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about this very subject only yesterday. But I sort of lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen to much of it.
How trying for you.
Giselle Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, Giselle Brett. That's a name I won't forget for as long as I live.
Extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget.
Sorry?
Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. But it turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Giselle Brett didn't actually exist.
Didn't exist? But how can that be?
It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin. And she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front.
A front? Who on earth was she then?
Miss A. Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to discern about her.
Miss A. Sheen. Miss A. Sheen? Like mission? Like machine? She a robot?
Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery. But that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could the woman have been up to? I'm afraid I really don't know. The only thing that we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand.
Now she's been killed, while all the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered.
I'm afraid so.
Ei Shin. Where on earth was she? And why do I feel as though I've heard that name before somewhere? Did we? God, if we did, it was like maybe one time.
After my friend Hei's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange.
I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. In that visiting student's fate. Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on the steamship, and that he'll never.
Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama.
And what'd you learn?
After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladen at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consulted staff there.
Should have been?
Well, it turns out that his body never arrived. It just disappeared.
What? Kazuma's body vanished?
Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Except, Kazuma-sama isn't there.
Did Professor Mikotoba know about this?
Yes. It would seem that he did. But he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak.
I just don't believe it. And what is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden? Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Brudia were definitely strange. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Could it be that he's actually still alive?
Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too much to bear.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to...
Just thinking about the possibility pains me. So very much. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he? And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly.
You're right. So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Sholmes had lied to us.
There's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing.
I suppose that's true, yes. Are we sure, though? He had no reason?
The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it. Because if it turned out not to be true, then I'd be back to the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I'm terrified of what that might do to me.
Oh, Miss Susato. No, she's given the idea the thought it deserves. It's Susato-san we're talking about after all. So I probably shouldn't push it now. Well, now what are we doing? Do I have anything I can present her? Well, we still have all our stuff to investigate. Anything worth examining here? See, I know something's up now because they're forcing me to stay in this room. Which, thank you, because last time I ended up going over all of London, only to find out I was supposed to click on still talk to her somehow.
I'm so looking forward to making you some tea again, Mr. Naruhodo.
Which you'd think I wouldn't like, given that I'm not keen on bitter flavors. But it is Susato-san's tea, and it's amazing what a little cake or something on the side can do.
I would dearly love to serve you some sort of Japanese sweet alongside your matcha green tea. But I suppose that's simply not possible given how long we've been staying here in London.
Well, I do like the little chocolates you put with my tea. They go wonderfully.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you would, wouldn't you?
That gives me a little warm glow inside for some reason. But thinking back, that spade's been in here since we first moved in, hasn't it?
I'm sure I've told you this before, Mr. Naruhodo. It's not a spade, it's a shovel.
I feel like I missed a conversation in the last game. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel.
The great spade shovel war rages on. I'm guessing that would have been an achievement. How was I supposed to know this game was all about the shovels and spades and not the ladders and step ladders? Speaking of which, there's one right there.
You have water gently boiling on the stove, I see.
It feels strong somehow if I can't hear the water bubbling away. And we have plenty of logs. It's not like we have to worry about paying for gas. Do you have to pay for logs?
It's important to open the window for fresh air when the fire's burning, though. Can't keep it closed just because it's cold outside. Well, it could be a matter of life and death.
Well, isn't that what that pipe's for? Avoiding the freezing winter is a matter of life and death too, if you ask me.
Oh well, perhaps a nice cup of tea will warm you up later.
But I guess you are leaving the front open. That seems a little dangerous. See, I've been keeping my desk beautifully covered in papers as always.
You really must tidy it all up, Mr. Naruhodo. No more excuses.
But, Mr. Sato, the way I see it, all these papers building up my desk like this are a reminder of my wonderfully diverse daily life. I like to leave them as they are, so I never forget how lucky I am to have such varied experiences.
In that case, you should definitely have a thorough tidy. Then you'll be able to see your papers building up all over again, and feel that joy renewed.
Still can't beat her in an argument, even though I'm the lawyer here. I think she did a way better job than he did, just saying.
I see your Danuma still has one eye filled in.
Well, we agreed that's something we do together, didn't we? We could do it right now if you like. I'd be happy with that.
I rather like the anticipation, I think, Mr. Naruhodo.
We can't even click on the ladder. That's disappointing. Oh, Iris is here. Maybe I was supposed to talk with her. I didn't realize I could, like, move over until I was done on that screen.
It must be about a year ago now. I wrote a really long story based on some of my father's old notes. It's about one of Hurley's greatest exploits. I call it The Hound of the Baskervilles.
But then Mr. Sholmes forbade you from publishing it, and put the manuscript somewhere nobody could get their hands on it.
So nobody knows anything about it apart from Hurley and I. But for some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie?
Yeah, we still haven't solved that mystery.
Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. And you wouldn't tell me how you come to know it. Yes, but I made you a promise I would explain one day, didn't I?
Let me guess, the day hasn't come? Oh.
I think it's time. I'm only sorry I've kept it from you for so long, Iris. It was completely by accident I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, The Hound of the Baskervilles.
What?
My Baskervilles story. Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time, but Father came in and...
Susato! What are you doing?
Oh, Father.
Did you look at those papers?
No, I simply read the label, that's all.
Well, put it out of your mind.
Sorry?
Forget that you ever saw it. And certainly don't tell anybody else about this. Do you understand? And what's in that story? But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan?
I have no idea. But when I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, well, the title just slipped out. I would never have guessed that it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Sholmes' exploits. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but he refused to answer any of my questions. There was no sign of the big box in his office. That's really all I know about it. I've no doubt that Father had a very good reason for being so secretive about it, but still. I made up my mind to explain myself to both of you. Well, thank you for being so honest, Susie. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I committed every detail about the case to memory. And Iris has told me all about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum as well.
So you're fully abreast of the situation already, Mr. Sato. I'd expect nothing less, to be honest.
I would think our first port of call should be to investigate this Mr. Drebber, the engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to effect this extraordinary trick.
Yes, a conjurer of sorts, by the sound of it, well known in the fields of science and magic.
And we need to go and arrest him.
Well, yes. He must know the truth behind this case, so I agree we really do need to find the man.
It sounds like it's a case of tracking someone down. Which is a job for the police, or a great detective.
Are we supposed to guess who she might be thinking of? We don't have much time, so we need to get started straight away, I think.
Good idea. Well, best of luck then.
Oh, you're not coming today?
I'm going to Brixton Road shortly for the herb market. And let me know how you got on, will you?
That was a little abrupt. Pull of the herb market must be strong. Alright, let's go see if we can find this guy. New location. Oh, experimentation state. Well, no, that's where we were before. What was the new location? Here? But we've been to all these places. I don't know where we want to start with. Maybe he's here, hiding somewhere.
I had no idea there were so many people in the world.
I know what you mean. It's really packed here today.
It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds at this point.
That's it. I shut my brain down, so I didn't really notice, to be honest.
Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, Inspector Gregson. I see you're hard as work as usual.
Well, I'm great to see you. Well, I've been keeping bit well since we last met.
What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning.
Not you, Sunshine. The gentlewoman so loyally at your side.
Oh, why thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice.
He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. As you probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more.
Right. Well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi! Get over here, Gina.
She seems to be busy playing with a puppy. Probably giving a traditional East End training.
Gina, she's a police officer now?
Amazing, isn't it?
She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place anyway. She's called the detection bug, if you ask me. Yup, I think she'll follow my footsteps nicely.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm being transferred. Well, it's time for me to say toodaloo to London.
Oh no, really?
That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see how you're getting along.
Not likely, but you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is.
To France?
I'll be working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right up my alley.
But France, it's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there?
That's the way the adult world works, sunshine. Now don't go poking your nose where it ain't wanted. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go.
What? You're taking Gina to Paris?
Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what become of her?
So that seems to imply that he was probably, like, kind of like a foster parent to her? I suppose he's worried she'd slip back into slipping her hands into people's pockets and purses.
I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's worried about the Reaper.
Oh, of course. So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, is it?
Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me?
No, of course not.
Well, I gotta keep that diving diva safe and sound. Until all this is over, at least.
What? Did you just call me a bloomin' diving diva again?
Oh, she heard that.
So you heard that, did ya? Right, well, any questions about the scene? You're appointing my capable detective diva here.
Alright, you're at the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now.
I suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you've got a new dog, have you?
Wasn't he great? Toby's his name. Oh, how delightful. He's absolutely adorable.
Yeah, the dog does seem lovely. But it's the not-so-lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. How about that Crystal Tower? You know, it kind of reminds me of another landmark. What's the one? The one down south from here. I can't remember the name right now. Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again.
Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like.
Oh, that's alright, is it?
I'm going to play with my new friend here.
Yeah, Toby.
The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume? Haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Oh. It's like I told Otto yesterday. Even I ain't allowed near that wreck. Oh, what's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The Special
Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Is that what you were thinking of?
That's the one. That's why only them law are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic something...
The Forensic Investigation Team? Is that what you were thinking of?
That's the one, yeah. Isn't it the case that the special dispensation has been lifted? Well, I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. They're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something. I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps? That's the one, yeah. Apparently he's always watching the time or something.
So without Lord Strongheart's express permission, we can't investigate on the stage. Alright, guess we know where we're going next.
It was great, wasn't it? I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know, being in court and all, spending time whole time worried about being found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, Odo's made things odd for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. Watching someone else get in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiments a total fix. The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruhodo's client.
Yeah, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though.
What's the boss I feel sorry for? Set off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest another cove, ain't he? And need time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy engineer. What's his name again?
Mr. Drebber, you mean? Enoch Drebber.
That's the one, yeah.
So the police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be.
Was putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. His is giving him a colic. Oh dear. But I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food.
Nah, there's no way. It hasn't been scientifically proven yet. Fried food's perfectly fine for you. So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber. I wonder if they've had any luck.
He's really funny looking. Got two eyes, one don't match. Saw a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually picture it or nothing. Your devil's got it.
Sorry, who?
Well, you know, that Scout and Reaper what's always glugging down glasses at Blood-Red Plonk. Oh, Lord Van Zeeks. He's always added in for me, that cove. Don't know why he's always scouring about, mind. Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes.
She'd rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective's trainee. The way I see it, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-guzzling demigod, you're equally badly off with both.
Well, I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that.
Why we put that one to bed?
Anyway, point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding the fishy engineer. Well, there don't seem to be no clues going on, so they're stuck.
Nothing that can lead us to Drebber at all? Where'd you find that little mutt then, Gina?
What? Don't be so flaming rude, Otto.
Slight overreaction, don't you think?
Ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's, how would they put it? Oh yeah, a bona fide detective.
Sorry?
I've given him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you.
More senior than Inspector Gregson, is he?
Oh, so he's a police dog, is he?
Police recruit dogs now?
I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all.
I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. Is that really something you should be bragging about?
That's nothing compared to this little fella, Aldo.
Oh, really?
According to what boss said, once Toby has got a good whiff of your drawers, he can chase that scent to the other side of the world.
What? To the other side of the world? You mean he can swim?
Mr. Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point by rather a wide margin.
I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill.
I'll tell you, Otto, there's gonna be more and more dogs doing their bit for the police in the future. Yes, I agree. Right, one of these days, they'll be barking orders at us lot, not the other way around. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina, I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby is Britain's first police dog. I found him down in East End the other day. Someone had just chucked him out in the street.
There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere.
Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals.
I can't tell if Naruhodo's being too presumptuous, or if Suzaru's just too innocent. It's even worth, like, doing anything around here since we have to come back. Might as well grab whatever's here.
Here's the scorching on the ground that you mentioned.
Yeah, and what's left of the green balloon's envelope. All clear evidence of the balloon that exploded on the day of the incident.
Poor Professor Harebrained. I do feel sorry for him that his dreams have been shattered like this.
Well, someone's well and truly burst his bubble, as it were. Ouch. I'm a bad person.
Ah, the Crystal Tower. Can't believe I'm seeing it in such close proximity with my own eyes.
You've really been looking forward to the great exhibition, haven't you, Mr. Sato?
Oh, yes. When I found out that I had to return to Japan, I'm afraid I cursed my luck.
But here you are, back in London, gazing up at the magnificent tower.
I know. Perhaps I was wrong to curse my luck so harshly.
Anything new up here? Probably not, hey?
What a shame that the symbolic landmark of the Great Exhibition has been damaged like that.
Yes, unfortunately the birdcage crashed in the most prominent position possible. The gods giving us a warning, if you ask me. Man must travel under his own steam and not cut corners with instantaneous kinesis.
I can imagine what might happen if have happened if the birdcage had landed in a slightly different location. The death toll could have been far worse. So I think perhaps it was a blessing in disguise.
Well, the gods are benevolent, obviously. I did say it was just a warning. Man must travel under his own steam, or next time the birdcages will rain down on all of you.
Your faith is much stronger than I realized.
Well, how do you think I passed the entrance exam for Yume University? It wasn't by studying alone. Wait, you just asked the gods to give you the brains to pass the exam? Fucking cheater. Not everyone can do that. Alright, I guess we need to go ask for permission, so can we get there? Yes, we can. Oh, who's that standing beside Lord Strongheart?
I wonder. I've never seen her before.
Ah, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result.
Oh. You mean because of Professor Harebrained's experiment?
Gem science being demonstrated at London's great exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish. Now politicians are scrabbling to respond. Lord Van Zeeks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing.
Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble.
None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. Special dispensation that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time.
Scrap metal now, is it?
Until later then, Miss Lord Strongheart.
Yes, thank you.
Who was that?
That was Dr. Courtney Sheath, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. She's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She was just delivering her report about the victim, in fact.
Oh, I see. About Mr. Osmond.
Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to re-evaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory.
Oh, right.
Now, what were you here to see me about? Well, I could give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time.
So he's not running quite as so spectacularly late anymore. I think he kind of already answered our question. I mean, we came here to see if we can go investigate things. Turns out we'll be able to later. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before?
The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago now, unofficially of course, to pave the way.
Goodness, a year ago?
At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. Once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly.
What do you mean?
For too long, these scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. The London scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires of hell. I intend to see to it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known, to protect our honor and our future.
Look at those eyes. He means every word.
Dr. Sid is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikotoba,
Oh, yes, my lord?
your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan.
Yes, that's right. I understand he'll be arrive at the beginning of next month.
Are you acquainted, Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikotoba, I mean.
It was many years ago now, but yes, I remember Dr. Mikotoba very well. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student.
It was the year I was born, so yes, 16 years ago in fact.
Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young, promising judge. Punctiliousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way.
I didn't think that you were.
Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinners, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Sid was also there then, as it happens.
Then Dr. Sid knows my father, does she?
She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I've no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total.
6 years? That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it?
I lived with my grandmother in those years.
So he left his nearly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years?
It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Oh,
Perhaps father wanted a reason to get away.
what do you mean? Why? Well, clearly something was going on at the time. I want to ask you about Lord Van Zeeks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right?
You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say that it was that very instant that gave rise to the Reaper.
Why?
When his brother, Clint Van Zeeks, was murdered, it was just after young Baroque had graduated from the University of London and became a prosecutor. When obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Baroque Van Zeeks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind.
Oh my word.
So Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper. It's the ghost of his brother?
Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles.
Oh, yes. Lord Strongheart.
Go ahead.
It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains, if possible.
Are you well versed in science, then?
Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently.
Well, special dispensation legally preventing investigation machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Sid's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, well, there's no harm in you looking at that wreckage, as long as you don't touch nothing. As you touch nothing.
Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing.
And I'll be able to see it too.
Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls.
We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord.
I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium. You understand?
And he's gone. Just instantly gone. So we can go to the lab, forensics lab if we want to. Why don't we finish examining this, and then we'll probably head over to the lab. Somewhere new. If we want to go up, we go like this, right?
Oh, that's off limits up there. Try to sneak past me again and I'll stuff your gob full of the boss's fish and chips.
Is that supposed to be a threat? Don't threaten me with a good time. Yes, please. I love fish and chips. I suppose we need special permission. Didn't we just get special permission? Or do I have to talk to her first? Ah, okay. Cool, thanks. Classic Phoenix Wright. Just quietly, you know, give me the option to advance. The player will figure it out eventually. They'll click on everything. Look, usually I'm down for that, but I feel like in this case, it just kind of seems unnecessary. Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again.
Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like.
Oh, that's alright, is it?
I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here.
Oh yeah, Toby. I feel like we had this conversation, but it seemed new.
The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume. Haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze.
Okay, we did just have this conversation, but we also just talked to him, and it said it was new.
It's like I told Aldo yesterday. We've an audience allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we're supposed to touch the special,
Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Is that what you're thinking of?
That's the one. That's why only them are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic something?
Forensic Investigation Team? Is that what you're thinking of?
That's the one, yeah. Is it the case the special dispensation has been lifted? I don't think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. Guess they're supposed to get permission for some bigwig or other, as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something. I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps. That's the one, yeah. Apparently he's always watching the time or something. Actually, we've just recently been seeing Lord Strongheart. You what? You met him? Last time the boss was called to go and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniffling.
Tragic. I guess we're just really good at catching him at a great time.
Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene, as long as we touch nothing. Oh yeah?
Honestly.
Alright then, go ahead. If it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying all this is above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine.
That really would be tragic.
Alright then, upstairs. Off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina.
Alright, now we can go up. No, we have to just click on the stairs. Stage up there is where the experiment was set up. Yeah, it's very high, isn't it?
About 30 feet, I believe. Or 9 meters if you prefer. Craning your neck to see up, it starts to hurt after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, we need to get up there and look around properly. Although, if I'm honest, climbing all those stairs makes my chest hurt.
Oh dear. I think perhaps you should exercise more, Mr. Naruhodo.
He has to stand all day in a courtroom. I think he's fine. Did I click on the wrong spot? Oh. Don't click on that part of the stairs. Click on this part of the stairs. These stairs lead up to the experimentation stage. Let's go and see what we can find out. I mean, it's pretty much how we left it the other day.
Oh my. So this is the machine. I was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place.
Yes, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment.
What extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrained went to in order to obtain a research grant.
No. The professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about it.
Yes, of course. It is amazing though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British.
Right about that. Well, you never see such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure.
Oh, look! Is that... Lord Van Zieks?
So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Mrs. Otto?
Already?
Well, he is the Reaper, remember? We do well to keep our distance, I think. But we're not in trouble.
But we have permission to be here, from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything.
From the top? Do you mean Lord Strongheart?
Exactly. So we could stay here and stare at this wreckage for as long as we like.
She could have been at the center of the explosion here and it wouldn't have been bent her steel will.
Oh, isn't it exhilarating? All this different architecture from all corners of the world.
That does make you feel a bit like an explorer, doesn't it? I know it's all subjective, but the onion-shaped roofs have rather caught my attention personally.
It is very subjective, isn't it?
Japanese buildings with their wood and paper construction have excellent ventilation. And I've realized that British buildings being made from brick and stone are very strong and long-lasting. The more you know how about things are done in other countries, the more you understand your own, I feel.
Oh yes, I do agree with you there.
But I can't help but wondering what an onion does for the roof of a building. I mean, I suppose it's playing on my mind because I don't like the taste of onions.
You really oughtn't let your taste in vegetables dictate your taste in roofs, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, why are they like that? Like, it's gotta be just purely decorative. They just like the shape of it. There cannot be a practical reason behind it, because I can't think of how that could even be practical. Anything but.
What a terrible explosion it must have been. Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast.
And what they call the birdcage was right in the middle of it all. Just here.
But look, Mr. Naruhodo, that metal grill on the floor. Looks as though it's designed to open.
It does, doesn't it? If the floor had opened at a precise moment the explosion occurred, the birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight.
I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there?
This wasn't here yesterday.
Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing in before he was apparently beamed through the air.
That's right, the birdcage. According to what Professor Harebrained said in court, it's made of wood. That's made of... Oh, I guess it is made of wood. Even the hinges? They don't look very wooden to me.
Or more precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. And And despite having been in an explosion and then falling from a great height, it's relatively unharmed. What wonderfully durable construction, wouldn't you say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'd understood that forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. I suppose they must have brought it back here when they'd finished their work.
But sadly not with the body inside it.
No, that's right. I know we were given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still. This is too important of a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it for the trial. One cage that was used for Professor Harebrain's experiment. This cage with the victim inside crashed down into Crystal Tower. I mean, it's got a bit of a singe at the bottom. A little bit of a crack. Yeah, it does kind of seem hard to believe that it fell from the sky like that.
I hear that a ride on the Ferris wheel is a favorite romantic outing among young London couples.
I think the romance would be slightly spoiled by the abject terror, personally, but then I'm not a Londoner.
Are you a little scared of heights, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, it's not that I'm scared, not at all. It's just that staying on the ground seems so much safer.
Well, perhaps I should have to ask Iris and Mr. Sholmes to accompany on it in that case.
When you put it like that, part of me does want to give it a try.
Oh dear. It is complicated for you, isn't it?
She's just waiting for him to say something. She's already well aware he's terrible at hiding it.
Look at that horn-shaped transmitting device. Isn't it amazing?
Well, that's exactly what I thought when I first saw it.
Makes you think, doesn't it? If only it had just been a normal horn, none of this would have happened.
That's almost exactly what I thought as well. I bet I can predict what you're going to say next in that case. You're about to say, nothing ever goes to plan, aren't you?
Oh, no, I would never say something like that.
Damn, guess he's not good after all. However much I look at them, I just can't come to terms with those Tamari handballs floating in the sky.
You've been glaring at them constantly since we came up here.
Sorry, the feelings of wanting to ride in one and wanting to never to set foot in one are fighting it out inside me.
But if you don't look where you're walking, you might fall from the stage.
I don't think I'd notice. That's how fiercely the battle inside me is raging.
I think you should make peace with riding in one, Mr. Naruhodo. It really would be much safer that way.
Alright, let's see what he's doing here. Standing here having a deep contemplation. Ugh, least approachable man in the world winner. 10 years in a row.
Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your assistants stand firm behind you.
Yeah, it's not gonna mean much if he dies on the spot here. Lord Van Zieks. What? Well... Beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently, you Nipponese are unequipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Ah, well, the thing is...
Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything.
And yet you've managed to disturb me. Yeah, but you're not a thing. You're a person. That's different. Never mind. State your business, then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zieks about. Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this.
Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try.
Oh, we're just going straight for the jugular right away. Okay. Hey, Duck. How's it going? So, Clint. What's the name of your older brother, I understand? Lord Van Zeeks?
You Nipponese. I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So you've been investigating me, have you?
Oh, no, it's nothing like that. Well, alright, it is a bit like that.
My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zeeks family. But tragically, the vicious killer took him from us.
The professor, you mean? Is something funny?
That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised.
Sorry? There's more to it then?
Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it?
You're too kind. Are you gonna tar all Nipponese with the same brush next?
So, tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident?
As it happens, Lord Van Zeeks, there's a rather curious case that comes to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tussbill's Museum of Waxwork by any chance?
I am, naturally. I believe that since last month, I feature in one of the displays there, for public scorn.
Of course the infamous Reaper of the Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he?
Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place, and held for ransom.
A particular waxwork? Which? Wait. You mean...
Yes, it's the professor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak.
I was unaware of that.
And as white as a sheet. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already?
Surely that goes without saying. They're very keen on seeing him found as well.
The trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier.
Which, according to Professor Hairbrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman who has straight white hair and wears a black monocle.
So, I was just wondering, I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but,
We very much appreciate any more clues you can give us.
wow, Sato-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns.
Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. So it appears he has already had that black monocle at the time.
What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us.
We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow. Which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available.
You know, that guy's face kind of reminds me of someone. Can't quite put my finger on it, but maybe it's the eyes.
So why wouldn't I show you the photograph?
What is it about Lord Van Zeeks? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. Oh, look who decided to show up.
Ah, yes. The file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, she sees it too, doesn't she? Are you alright?
Who is this man, Mr. Naruhodo?
Lord Van Zeek's apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Sato-san can see it too.
Lord Van Zeeks, may we speak with your apprentice for a moment?
With him? Why?
Kazuma-sama!
Kazuma. I don't believe it.
Your posture, your presence. It can only be. It's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama?
I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. As if I knew him somehow. Can it really be you, Kazuma?
Wait!
Too late.
What's going on here?
Does he know?
What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you know the man or something.
Well,
Since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago.
Lord Strongheart introduced me to him about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. But he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself.
He has amnesia?
Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side.
What?
He's to serve as my judicial assistant, by Lord Strongheart's orders.
You'll be in court with us?
Oh shit, tag team? 2v2? Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Oh, yes. Thank you. Definitely saw a reaction there. When Susato-san called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. When she called out Kazuma-sama.
You'd already met that masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes. Yesterday, in fact, at Lord Van Zeek's office.
I see. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us.
I know. We're going to need to speak to him about that. You're going to have to leave now. The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs problems. Well, we could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Mr. Sato.
Of course.
You can buy that, but it's still Kazuma. Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe he like got knocked out to point. You know what I think? So the reason they're wondering if Sholmes lied was because, you know, he was the one that found the body, right? On the ship. I'm wondering if he just got like knocked out to a point that anyone would have pronounced him dead. So that would mean Sholmes didn't lie, but he also didn't know that he wasn't dead. Because anyone looking at the body would have said the same thing. I feel like that's what we're gonna probably find out here. Hopefully. Or he really was keeping it secret for some reason. No one's here? Everyone's at the herb market? Guess so. Okay, we'll come back later. Let's go to the lab. Not quite what I expected it to look like. But I kind of briefly forgot that we were in the 1800s for a second. I believe this is it. Dr. Said's laboratory. Chemical smell really assaults the nose. There's plenty to assault the eyes in here too.
Looks as though the doctor isn't here. But we're here now, so we might as well do some sightseeing, don't you think?
What a seasoned tourist you've become, Miss Susato. We could just have a little look around. Bean, careful not to upset any restless souls. Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around inside them. I suppose they're fruit liqueurs or something, or like the pickled umeboshi plums we make back home.
Father had jars like that in his laboratory as well. I expect they're human organs in a preserving solution, probably as examples of some rare medical condition.
Mr. Sato, there are some things in the world that it's perfectly fine never to know about. Ever. So, as I said, I'm sure they're fruit liquors or umeboshi, aren't they?
Of course.
Table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it all looks quite innocent. So why is it when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing? It's a very interesting... I mean, I've never made umeboshi before, of course. But I didn't know they used tools like that in the process.
It might be best not to ponder it too deeply. Seeing the large tome that's open on the desk does make me wonder, though. How can anybody concentrate on bookwork with this accurate order of chemicals in the air?
See, that's only a problem if you smell them. You'd either have to have a cast iron constitution or a really terrible sense of smell. It's called smell blindness. It's a real thing. Look at all the bottles on the shelves in these cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals.
The ones here are labeled highly toxic.
Ugh, that's worrying. Because there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there.
Oh yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them. Lecter probably spends a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps he has meals here as well.
Life goes on, even when you're surrounded by death.
I suppose this is Dr. Side's desk.
Ugh, I would not like to work in a place like this. Cool lamp, though. I like that.
It's very tidy, though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work.
I don't think he can. You've seen his desk this morning? The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes, and the chemical smell can't be good for you. Not to mention the skeleton watching over you as you work, which is definitely bad for the nerves.
Well, yes, those are valid concerns, I suppose.
I could just about cope with a one-eyed Daruma doll all watching over me, but that's all. Well, look at this. What a magnificent display case. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carving is a joy to behold. Western cabinet makers really are very skilled, aren't they?
Do you have nothing to say about the skeleton inside, Mr. Naruhodo?
Mr. Sato, can't you tell that I'm trying very hard to avoid talking about the terrifying contents of the case? It's how I cope.
I'll be sure to remember that from now on.
No, but please share your thoughts on the skeleton inside the cage. We're all dying to hear them.
That looks like an owl and a crow up there.
I know. They haven't even twitched since we came in here.
Well, no, they wouldn't have. They're taxidermy mounts, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ugh, I was afraid you were going to say that. I'm trying very hard to tell myself they're just sleeping with their eyes open. Very stiff sleepers.
Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Daruma doll on display in the office instead.
That's it. Not even the bloody table. He has things to say about the skeletons and the body parts, but nah, the blood, he's fine with that. Alright, well. Not really a whole lot here, unless I missed something somehow. Could go to the wax museum, I guess. Is Sholmes still working here? Oh no, he was investigating now. He got a promotion.
Oh my. No wonder it's called the House of Horrors. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery.
Being scared makes you crave sweets? I can understand that. I like that she's fine with, like, the dead body parts. The real dead bodies in the other place. But then here with all the fake stuff, that's where she gets scared.
I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere.
That's strange. He should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. I mean, he also had to go elsewhere. I guess that leaves us with prison? Nice Sonic Adventure 2 reference. I appreciate it. Who gave this guy chalk? Feel like that should be an illegal substance in prison. What's he doing?
Oh my, the whole wall of the cell isn't covered in mathematical equations.
And he's still writing more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo! And who is this young lady? My name is Susato Mikotoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Oh, if only I'd met a refined young woman like your Sona.
What, you were gonna make her the next guinea pig?
None of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all. Hey, oh dear. I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you.
I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised I would in court this morning.
Oh no. The whole thing is a whole miserable affair. It all happened because I've been such a complete and utter clot. Professor Harebrained, what have you been working on in your cell? Oh, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see, and I simply had to write it down. The fall was all I had at hand.
Oh, is it some new hypothesis? Something to surpass super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe?
No, actually, this is my autobiography.
You write your autobiography in mathematical formula?
Your autobiography? How I was diddled and fiddled by Albert Harebrained. I've been found I can represent my odd fortunes with only odd numbers in an ambitious set of simultaneous equations. Really? I'm going to have to pay back all the loans I took for the kinesis machine, you see. So it's going to have to be a new serial publication from next month. Part 1, an odd birth, an odd upbringing.
Can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. I see. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little more about the case?
Oh, yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was diddled. I was fiddled by the pair of them. By Osman and by that aloof engineer Drebber.
We're not gonna have to sit through an explanation of all those equations, are we?
Everything I've believed in has been turned on its head. My research, my Mr. Osman's the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even.
I'm sorry it's come to this. There was really no other way.
No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public. No, of course you didn't. But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong. Logically, it makes no difference if you were aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me. Oh, Professor. He believed in me this morning, you know. Baroque did. He believed in my hypothesis. Well, I think that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case. No. Baroque wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it. Did he? I think I understand now. Why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean. After the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even. I feel like I dealt some kind of finishing blow there. So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anyone other than Baroque, I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense. And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor. Exactly, which is why it would have been a fate worse than death for me. But Baroque insisted I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why he... I know him very well indeed. He's an extremely kind-hearted soul. But an extremely kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he? Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis may have some flaws in it. What about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit in with the kind-hearted soul idea? Do you think he'd set out to trick me from the very start? I'm sorry to say, that does seem likely, yes. When I first met him, he introduced himself to me as a wealthy financier. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused. He was so empathetic. But in reality, he was the mastermind behind some vast criminal network, it seems. I still can't believe it. This machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. It probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually. But the scale of it, it wasn't just some small trick. It was a very elaborate feat of deception. Our young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, full of zeal. Oh, but none of us have any money. We want to do research, but we can't afford it. And many of us take on barely legal part-time work to try to earn just a few measly pennies to carry on. To go through all of that, only to be taken for a complete fool. Oh, it's too rotten to believe. It is, I agree. And that's why we have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Mr. Asman is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer. Mr. Enoch Drebber. Is he an engineer, or a magician, or swindler? It was about a year ago when Mr. Asman first brought Drebber to meet me at my laboratory. Since then, I have many times to discuss details about the kinesis machine. But at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an illusionist? Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist. What do you mean?
was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. Oh, there's no questions that the man's a genuine scientist. It's insanely apparent in conversation. I see.
But the wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. Are there no more clues you can give us as to his whereabouts?
I'm sorry. We only ever discussed the kinesis machine, nothing else. Although, just once, I did visit his workshop. What workshop? Trevor's enormous fabrication laboratory, where he constructed my great machine. That sounds pretty significant. What? Why didn't you mention this before? Look, Trevor's workshop. There's every chance we might find the man there. Unless he's all cleaned up by now because he knew the gig was up. So you've been to Trevor's place of work then? Yes, just want to understand. It was an enormous place. Plenty of room to construct the kinesis machines, you see. Where can we find it? We have to go there at once. Well, there's a good chance that we'll find Trevor there. Yes, definitely. I'm sure. As in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this. But I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all. I'm so sorry. I was more than half expecting that. You see, I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there. Blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any chances then. Oh, the place was incredible. The pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best. A special French machine oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Ah, the indescribable scent of that imported oil. Perfumers across the world should forget their secret formula and use that instead. What do you think, Mr. Susato? Oh, the machine for your next birthday?
I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruhodo, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I don't suppose you know even a part of the workshop's address, Professor? You don't have a business card from Mr. Trevor, for example?
That was very clearly very cautious.
Aha! Yes, I do! He gave me his business card once. It's right here. Look!
What?
Let me see that.
I thought she was gonna like try and tackle him through the bars. Oh, etiquette to the wind, why don't you?
Enoch Trevor, engineer. I'm afraid that's all it says. There's no address.
No. Oh well, can't say I'm surprised.
Still, this could be useful.
Maybe it has like a little symbol on it or something that might be important in court later. Alright. Well, that's all we got here. Where should we go next then? Now we're gonna have to start figuring out the order to do these things in. Let's try the lab again. Nope. Okay. Maybe the wax museum? How about... Oh, did we miss something at the stage? Or maybe Sholmes is back home. I'm guessing this is empty. Oh you think we should get the business card now? Yeah, it's not a terrible idea. I wonder if he'll activate something and let us continue. Oh, it's 3D. We got like a plus and minus sign. Was he like an electric engineer? Oh, interesting. There's dark smudge here. I think perhaps it's machine oil. Ah, yeah, possibly. Professor Harebrained mentioned something about the oil Mr. Trevor uses, didn't he? He said it was specially imported, very high-quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain.
Yes, that's right. But more importantly, that it's more fragrant than the finest perfume. So, excuse me a moment.
Oh, I have an idea.
Oh, it doesn't appear to have any scent at all.
Don't worry. I expect that's just because there's such a tiny amount on here. I have an idea. I know exactly where we're going. How about this, Gina?
Yeah, I'm still learning me letters at the moment. I only know A to E, so if it ain't too much bleeding trouble... actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important. How come? What's this dirty old smudge on the back, that's all. Well, turns out this very high-quality French machine oil has a very particular scent, apparently. You don't say. Let's have a whiff, then. You sure? I don't smell nothing.
No, we didn't mean that you should smell it.
Oh, right. You mean Toby?
Well, since the smell is so good, he could track people over the oceans, can't he?
Mr. Harebrained informs us that this oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop.
I think he's picked up a scent.
So you mean, if he falls the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us to that dodgy Cover O's workshop? That's right. That's exactly what we were hoping. Alright then, we'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that.
Wait, when did you... What's a pickpocket?
I could lead everyone to that Drebber's workshop. I'll be the boss's boss before next week. Oh yes, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted.
Poor Gregson. She's not gonna get promoted. There's a little problem that unfortunately she has no way of solving.
What then, Odo? Leave it to me.
Sorry?
We're going to go after Dodgy Engineer Cove right this minute. But hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time.
I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina.
Oh, right. Oh well, never mind. When it's going to be Millwater gets in the neck, he'll be the boss.
Poor Gregson again.
Ready, Toby? Got that oil sent up here? Come on then, boy. See you later. Oh, wait. Oh, we gotta follow. I do hope the sound of that oil leads him to that swindler's workshop.
Yeah, I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen first. Guess we can't go there yet. Okay. Guess we'll check the other places for now. And before they're just here at this lab. Oh, that would have been a twist. But I guess there really wouldn't be a lot of room here to build a giant teleportation device, eh? I feel like some things needs to activate here so we can go to the the other lab. Can we talk to you again? No. And the card's gone. Can't talk to him about that. Actually, can we talk to him about this? No. The reason I was going to ask him about this is because of how like little damage it was, but I guess that seems something better to bring to one of the other frauds. Since this whole thing was a sham. I didn't mean to go there, I meant to go one more up. I'm wondering if we need to talk to Susato of all people. No, I don't think so. I really hope that's not the answer. Well, wait, if no one here is guarding, can we just, like, make our way up again? We'd better not try going up those stairs to the stage area now. We've already bumped into the forensic investigation team. It sounds like it could make trouble. Oh, they're already here. Okay. Nope, that makes sense. Was I able to examine here? Or could we only leave? Okay, I can examine here. Probably should have been doing that. Nope, even like Sholmes the statue isn't here.
What a horrifying scene! A murderer caught in the grisly act!
I know. And in case you're wondering, it's the one with the big knife that's supposed to be the killer.
I don't think anybody would be in any doubt about that, surely.
And did you know, according to the description, the bathtub at the back has no particular significance?
What? Really? I would have thought it meant to show that the killer also worked in a bathhouse peddling criminal wares.
Ha! We have a new theory. Ah yes, the heavy curtains in the middle of the House of Horrors. Whatever's on the other side of them, you just know it's going to be terrifying, don't you?
Sign says it's the Madame Tuspel's special exhibit. Seems you have to pay extra to go inside.
I know, can you believe that? Pay more money, as if we haven't been scared enough already.
It's not my doing, Mr. Naruhodo.
The old policeman isn't here now, obviously. Still can't believe he just happened to be on the jury, though.
I'd understood that London has a population of 6 million people, and yet you do seem to run into the same people disproportionately often, don't you?
Yeah, I wonder if there's a reason for that, hmm? I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
This one's posture reveals his weakness.
Sorry?
The killer's stance leaves him wide open to attack. I'm quite sure I could see him off with a Susato takedown, then a Susato squash, and finally a Susato smash.
Right.
And if that doesn't render the culprit unconscious, a Susato slam should finish him.
A Susato slam?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's rather hard for me to explain. Leave yourself open slightly and I'll demonstrate.
Absolutely not. Okay, well that was very enlightening and very useful to our investigation. Did I miss clicking on something here? Oh, and click up here apparently.
Oh, look! A flying balloon! I've never seen one in the flesh before.
I can't understand how they fly, and so high up as well.
Oh, but think of the view, Mr. Naruhodo. You must be able to see for miles and miles.
I do think of it, and it terrifies me. I mean, it would be certain death if you fell out.
I'm sure they're perfectly safe. After all, they've been invented by some of the brightest minds in the world.
Let's not forget that we know at least one of them has exploded.
I'm sure there are other ways to fly.
Yeah, you know, just give it another, like, what, 8 years, I think? Was this game 95? Okay, we definitely didn't miss anything there. This place would definitely be somewhere we'd forget something. Miles, she's been converted? It's too late for her now. It didn't even like click with me until you brought it up. Alright, so we seem to be in the same situation we were a few investigations ago. Where it's very unclear what we're supposed to be doing. I didn't investigate the prison, but that's because I can't. Never mind. You know what? I'm going to talk to her. We know what happened last time I didn't do that.
Do you know, I honestly thought I might never have the opportunity to return to Great Britain. And certainly not so soon.
It's funny, for the past 6 months I haven't been able to work in court. Meanwhile, you've been raising the storm in the Supreme Court of Judicature back in Japan.
Please, Mr. Naruhodo, I may have been dressed as a man, but it was a very reserved performance.
So what your father said in his letter about a Ryutaro takedown is reserved?
Well, anyway, I'm back here in this great capital now. And ready to assist you again in any way I can.
Thank you, Mr. Sato.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Naruhodo.
That told me nothing, like what to do, and it wasn't even like a vague hint. Literally useless. Classic what to do option in Phoenix Wright right there. That was somehow less than worthless. I hope we don't need to start investigating this place. We've done it like 10 times. But I guess we might as well examine it now since we're here. Where is it? That's this. Finally managed to remember this behemoth's name, the Great Analytoscope.
I don't think it was here when I left for Japan, was it?
Oh, is that right?
Yes, because it was with the pawnbroker.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, that's given me a wonderful idea. I could pawn everything that's on your desk. The office would be tidy at last.
Don't even joke about it, Mr. Sato. You are joking, aren't you? What if you just like pawned everything in this room before they got back? Think they would notice? This is Mr. Shome's famous violin. The one he found being sold for a song at a pawnbrokery. What's it called again? The Shodi something?
Oh yes, this wonderful instrument features in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. It's a world-famous Stradivarius.
What?
Stradivarius, Mr. Naruhodo. Stradivor. Are you even trying now?
We'll come back to this another time, I think. It's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
Looks as though it might topple, and yet it doesn't. The epitome of Mr. Sholmes' brilliance.
I don't get it. As it happens, I'm quite well practiced when it comes to stacking shelves myself. But just the other day, the shelf in my office finally gave way under the strain, though.
Looks like though it might topple, and it does.
Yes, the epitome of your disarray. I really don't get it. I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. Although, I do yearn for a Japanese kotatsu. Putting your legs under a warm blanketed table is so comforting.
Do be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't mistakenly put your feet in the fire, will you? You'd suffer terrible burns, you know.
I worry sometimes about how Susato-san sees me. My eye is always drawn to this big metal chest that Mr. Sholmes and Iris use as a coffee table.
Isn't it where Iris keeps her very important papers?
It is, so you'd think that they'd treat it with more care, really. But only the other day I saw Mr. Sholmes kick it.
Oh no.
I suppose something must have been frustrating him.
What a shame to mistreat the furniture, though. Was it damaged?
Well, the chest was fine, but Mr. Sholmes was doubled up on the floor for almost 10 minutes.
Oh dear. That is a painful tale.
Ah yes, Mr. Sholmes' curious collection of trinkets from the various mysteries he solved.
It's one of my favorite parts of this room, full of items with such exciting tales to tell. And I do believe he's added to it since I last looked. Now there's a mysterious pin's nest, a mysterious little box, mysterious horseshoe, mysterious biscuit.
I think that last one might just be one of Iris's unfinished snacks. This blackboard is where Iris scribbles down her latest ideas, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, she seems to have drawn a lot of little stick figures all lined up. Look!
Cheap apples at the market is what all of them say.
What? The little figures can speak?
All your questions would be answered if only you would read this month's Rants magazine.
So I'm the only one who can't make any sense of this. Iris's pretty little tea set is out as beautifully as ever. Look.
Well, it's only by carefully taking care of a tea set that you can make good tea.
Is that a roundabout way of telling me I need to tidy my desk?
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you do overthink things at times.
It definitely wasn't, don't worry.
That's Iris's wonderful collection of medicines, potions, and chemicals. Just look at the little bottles she squeezed onto the shelves.
Yeah, and there's charming little ribbons tied around the bottles too. But the labels aren't quite so charming, are they?
This one here reads Deadly Poison.
Deadly Poison with a cute little bow tie on it.
I've been so excited about the idea of helping Iris with her experiments, you know?
Just try to avoid any bottles labeled Deadly Poison or Highly Explosive. If I remember correctly, this large and imposing lump of iron is called a typewriter.
I think that every single one of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes blossomed from this very machine. Such a dreamy thought.
I actually had to go on it the other day. The metal bars that move when you hit the keys got all tangled up somehow and made Iris angry.
Mr. Naruhodo, you're ruining my dreamy thoughts. Please don't do that again.
Ugh, now I've made Susato-san angry as well. Okay, well, there's nothing here, and half of it seems like repeats the last 3 times we investigated it, so I don't know what we're doing, so I'm probably gonna look it up because the only thing I can think of is that we need to present something to him, but I thought we were just gonna follow Gina to the laboratory. I don't know what we could present that would... Oh, is it this? Maybe we could present this. No, we can't even present this! That's insane. I'm shocked we can't show him the picture of Drebber, considering he was the one that brought it up. Actually, I think Gina brought it up, but even so. And Gina took a glance at Van Ziek's photo of Drebber when he still had it. But yeah, those eyes look kind of familiar, just saying. Alright, what are we supposed to be doing? What stupid thing did I forget to do this time? Was I supposed to present something to her? Okay, so we talked to him at the prison, yep. And then... So we go to Lord Chief Justice's office and we talk to Strongheart. We did that too. And he's definitely not there now, right? We still can't go here. This place is empty now, right? Yeah, it's empty. And then we're supposed to go to the lab. This one. But there's no one here. Okay, so I did miss something here. I see how I missed it. I clicked on the desk and I moved it all around and I didn't realize that this book was a different point. Okay, that's fair. I didn't have a chance to come back here and properly investigate this one. Double check that I didn't miss anything. I didn't do that yet. Look at this big, thick book here. Hey, you can't just go about saying things like that about books. That's rude.
Appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think.
Is Trevor in it?
Oh?
What is it?
Well, it's clear the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but, well, one entry seems rather strange.
Really? In what way?
They're buying 500 scalpels every month.
500? They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses.
I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances. And scalpel blades can be sharpened too.
It does seem a bit strange, you're right. Yeah, but think about the hygiene. You want them to be sterile, right? Do they really have good sterilization techniques back then? I feel like it'd just been easier to buy new ones. 500 scalpels a month. What could they possibly be using them all for? And that was the trigger that we were waiting for.
What are you doing?
Okay, if anyone in this game is a vampire, forget Van Ziegs, it's her. She literally looks dead right now. Sorry, we, had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so...
So you thought you'd snoop around? That's acceptable to you people from the East, is it? Well, what do you want?
Lord Strongheart told us, you see, it was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Asmon's body, I mean.
So we came to ask you about your findings. On Lord Strongheart's advice. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given you his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done here, you must leave immediately.
Okay, let's not touch anything else because she clearly doesn't like that.
So, you want to know what the forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene? The victim, Mr. Eddie Odie Asmon, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion, and the Mr. Asmon who appeared moments later partway up the Crystal Tower, were without question one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion.
But that can't be right.
If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see, if two people who looked very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as if one single person switched places, couldn't they? Very true, but sadly in this instance, that was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared were the same person. Fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident.
Fingerprints? What's this newfangled technology? You're using fingerprints now?
but not yet officially recognized as forensic evidence in the British justice system. But one day, they'll be used as an investigative aid as a matter of course. Oh my, but that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place. So, where does that leave us? My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Instantaneous kinesis is impossible. And yet, the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. That was the entire investigation? Oh, who the fuck? Is this her assistant? Certainly dressed for the job. This is what Iris is going to be doing like 10 years from now. Mama, what is this? Where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? This is a lawyer, dear. Oh. Hello. To meet you, but pleased to meet you. Yes, I'm a defense lawyer. We didn't escape. Mama? Yes? Can I cut this one up? What? I've never seen inside an Eastern person before. I want to know what it looks like. Of course you can't. It's a live specimen, as you can very clearly well see. Boring. I think I just had a near-death experience. Oh dear, Mr. Naruhodo. You're as pale as a corpse. Then let's leave before I'm mistaken for one. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. If we could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber. I'm sure Gina and Little Toby won't let us down. Now then, do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? We have things to discuss, and I'm dying to meet him again after all these months. Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful. You're right. We ought to find him at Madame Tusfel's. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit. I thought even Naruhodo knew he was on her case already. Yes, Iris told me all about his latest unusual venture. We can still talk to her again, can we? So, what are you doing at the moment, Doctor? Keeping a close eye on things so no imprudent Easterners think they can look around my office. Are there such imprudent Easterners around? Oh, how terrible. Yes. You. She doesn't mince her words, Mr. Sato. I think perhaps it's time we left. Wait, did the dialogue at the bottom of the area selection screen imply that there was new stuff here? Has that always been a thing and I just never noticed? That kind of like hints at where you're supposed to be going, or like some sort of event will happen if you go here? Because I've just been clicking on things, you know, playing all the other games, you kind of have to do that. Here we are again at the House of Horrors. Afraid I haven't gotten used to this place yet. I'd still like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Via the confectionery, of course. Sato-san really is after some being sweet today, isn't she? What's the matter? Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that waxwork. I'm quite sure it wasn't there before. It looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes down to the very last detail. What is it? Oh, sorry. I think you'll find
That's the temporary waxwork himself.
Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee.
Oh, yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
I must say, I am quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs.
You don't mean...
But yes, the mystery is solved already.
Wow, Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough.
So as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties.
Yes.
His habitual duties? Oh, do not disturb her.
Poor Susato-san. She looks very perplexed. Can we examine him?
We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I'm longing to say hello again. But where is he?
I think you might find that he's quite nearby, actually.
Oh, wait, what do you...
Indeed, my dear fellows. It is I, the world-famous great detective and waxwork, Sherlock Sholmes.
Susato-san! Susato-san!
And then she died. And then we have case number 4. The trial of Sherlock Holmes.
My most humble apologies.
I thought I died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment. Via London.
My dear madame, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point.
As long as it's not questionable street food quality.
I don't understand. Why were you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes?
Merely a secret identity, you understand. Though the case is largely solved now.
Largely solved?
We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume.
Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess I am yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far today for that matter.
Yeah, I can hear. That stomach rumble echoed across the whole museum. So, how did you manage to solve it so quickly?
Well, do remember I said it was largely solved. Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone?
Oh yeah, those newfangled things that let you, like, talk at a distance. You want to talk about magic?
Oh yes, it's a most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet.
This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned.
That's amazing.
Which is between you and I. It would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event.
Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible demanded a ransom, no?
Yes, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive.
But does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary?
Well, sure, but he didn't know that.
Fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Tuspel's at all costs.
Literally.
Hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street, after all. Poor Iris. And now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork?
Yeah, actually, I kind of want to see it. Who are who's this waxwork of? We're in the process of trying to track somebody down.
Who?
Yes, by the name of Enoch Trevor. He's the swindler who duped Professor Harebrain and the engineer who built the Kinesis machine.
A swindler and an engineer. Quite the modern man.
He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning.
But we have so few clues to go on that's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas?
I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least, I may be in a better position to help.
Yes, Trevor's appearance.
Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it.
Well, unfortunately we don't have any food, but I think we might have a clue or two we could give you. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? Okay, no context on that statement? That question? Damn, okay.
My dear Mr. Naruhodo, say that piercing stare. What is this about?
Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship, your words were very clear.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder.
You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body.
Indeed, and wherein lies the problem?
We met him earlier today, the victim, Kazuma Asogi.
You're quite sure?
He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama. You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead.
He's not denying it.
Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all? Ha ha ha. Priceless. I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruhodo?
I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake, but not you, Mr. Sholmes.
I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that.
Please, Mr. Sholmes.
Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say.
Wow, way to like dodge the question. Just somehow not only dodge it, but then raise more questions. Alright, anyways, here's your photo. Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print?
It's of Mr. Enoch Trevor, the face of the engineer we seek.
Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course.
What the fuck? See, that's something I could understand someone, you know, saying about a foreigner. But of their own people? Damn, dude. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't judge. Maybe this man has like one of those conditions where he can't tell faces apart, which I can totally relate to some degree.
So looking at this photograph would be particularly instructive.
Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, forgive me. Very interesting, this. Very interesting indeed.
What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden.
I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruhodo. Will you indulge me?
Oh, well, what is it?
As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork had been returned, and I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick black curtains.
Oh, yes, the professor exhibit, wasn't it?
Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings? That's a special one-time only price, you understand?
What?
Well, the opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor?
Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone?
The price is very reasonable, 5 shillings. I think you'll find it's well worth it.
Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes?
Surely you only need to look at my expression to ascertain if this is seriousness or silliness.
I can never tell with you, that's the point.
Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings.
Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure.
Alright, let's take a look. What's behind curtain number 1?
Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit.
Through those heavy curtains at last. $5 we've had to pay. It doesn't seem right somehow that Mr. Sholmes slipped the money into his own pocket, does it?
No. Oh, we could ask Gina to retrieve it for us, using her special skills.
You're not wrong there. Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what makes Britain great? Well, not to mention demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands, or chip-loving inspectors.
Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, I think.
Yeah, he just seems like a normal British person. Heaven forbid a British person enjoy their fish and chips. Oh, we get the fancy location text and everything. This must be important. Of course the head is missing. Why wouldn't it be missing? Can't have any conclusion here.
Oh dear. I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in here.
Mr. Sato, I say we turn our heels and go straight home. Via a really big confectionery.
We certainly can't do that. We've paid 5 shillings already.
True. Actually, now that I'm looking a little more closely, we've paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. Nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place. I feel like it is complete is the issue.
This must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said the case was largely solved.
Oh, okay, yeah. Never mind. I thought maybe it was like, just part of the story was that this guy was headless or something coming out of the grave. Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineer in here, didn't he? But where? Well, since we paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we?
Yes, we will get what we paid for.
Is that fear or frustration that's making Susato-san's voice tremble?
This part of the exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. Looks so real.
It seems to be a young man in a white overcoat. He has a large shovel in his hand too. Look, you sure that's not a spade? Perhaps we should investigate in a little more detail.
What a large shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he? What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in the graveyard in the middle of the night?
Mr. Sato,
Yes?
that's a spade, isn't it?
No, it's a shovel.
No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
We've been through this, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a shovel.
Oh, no. Although, we haven't considered trowels. Aren't trowels, like, specifically, like, those little hand shovels that you use in the garden?
We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement.
So we're going to bury the hatchet? Don't you mean axe? You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? That's the real question. What's this here?
Well, this would appear to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera.
A camera? But it's so small. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints?
I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera?
Does the camera even work well at night? I guess it's got flash. I wonder. Or perhaps he was trying to capture the moment of a dead body came back as a ghost on film.
We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think.
We're just gonna take it? What?
Look at the photographic plate inside the camera. We can see what picture was taken.
What's a photographic plate?
It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming in through the lens. If we open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look.
Wouldn't that ruin it if you open it up now? I guess it's kind of dark in this room, but it feels like there's still a lot of light. You should see yourself, Susato-san. Your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? Okay, we'll take a look in a bit. Before we leave here, we'll take a look at the camera. Can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if I just...
Oh, do you think you should be manhandling the exhibits, Mr. Naruhodo?
Speak for yourself, miss. I want to take the camera and open it up. And, like, this is a wax museum. Why would the camera even have anything in the first place? The plate should be blank. I'll put it back exactly as it was. Don't worry. Huh.
What on earth? How can...
I don't believe it. A black monocle.
Mr. Naruhodo, is it possible that this man is...
Yes. It's Enoch Drebber.
The color of his hair is different, but...
It's unmistakably him. Pre-accident, and it turned his hair white, perhaps? Mr. Sholmes. This man is the subject of your present hunt, I believe. Yes, that's right. Just, who is this man? Why is he here in this exhibit? And why does the convict behind him have no head? The head was missing when the model was returned by the thief who stole it. What a surprise. So then the case isn't yet solved, is it? Did I not say so myself? Largely solved were my words, I believe. But I must locate the missing head. To the suite, as Madame would say, or I'll be in grave trouble. Very hungry Iris still awaits my return to Baker Street, preferably with rations.
Do you know, though, something about this room is strange.
Strange? What do you mean?
Well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not?
Indeed they are, Miss Susato. Do go on.
And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... This surely couldn't ever have really happened, could it?
Unless he was buried alive.
I think it's time I educated you a little about the nature of the incidents involving the professor 10 years ago. I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? We took the lives of 5 victims, every one being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty.
All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies.
Where were these hounds from, may I ask?
Do you happen to know the name of the place they might be from?
Oh gosh, an enormous hound. How awful.
After taking the life of his 5th victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand. Accordingly, the professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted.
A closed court? So you mean that the professor's identity...
As you've surmised, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public. Well, naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, and adjoins the rear of the prison where he had been held. Which adjoins the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair. The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life.
Came back to life?
He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard. The exhibit here depicts that very scene as described by the sole witness to those chilling events.
There was a witness?
But of course, my dear fellow. It was none other than the young man in the white overcoat.
Enoch Drebber.
You saw it happen?
So this is the waxwork model of Enoch Drebber.
10 years ago, the convicted professor, having been gibbeted and buried, emerged from his grave in the dead of night. The sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man. From appearances, I would say he was about 20 years old.
It's so horrifying.
Scared out of his wits, the young Drebber ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. When the sheer terror of what he'd seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight.
Yeah, shown in the photograph we have of him. His hair is completely white.
For the following few days, the story of what he'd seen was on the front page and was on every front page in the capital. The public was frantic for every last detail about the killer who'd come back to life. As you've seen, an exhibit was even created here at Madame Tuskbell's.
I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly. But what I don't understand is what Mr. Drebber was doing in the first place. In a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night.
Yes. What was he up to?
The professor's act of terror threw London's upper classes into complete panic 10 years ago. It was a great scandal, one might say, at the very highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumors abounded. After all, no killer had ever before systematically employed such dog as a weapon of murder.
Yeah, I can imagine the impact the case must have had.
But in time, of course, the rumors abated. So too did talk of the shocking witness account of the convict who came back to life. It was forgotten, dismissed as dubious ghost story, and as preposterous as parlor tale.
But why did people stop believing it?
Why, simply because there were no resurrection to speak of, as was established in fact.
What do you mean by no resurrection?
The police investigated the grave in Lowgate Cemetery and published their findings. Well, the convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution.
No, but that would mean Mr. Trevor must have lied to the police and the newspapers.
That would appear to be the only logical explanation, yes. The young man subsequently vanished from society and nothing had been heard of him since. It's rather striking, then, that he should resurface now, don't you think?
Of course, the convicted murderer couldn't really have come back to life. That's not possible. But Trevor's hair is unusually white. And if that really did happen overnight as a result of shock, it's hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie. I don't think we have anything... Oh yeah, we were going to look at the camera, right. Oh, look, the cover came open.
Yes, now, there should be a glass plate inside. You have to change the plate with each new photograph you want to take, you see?
Is something wrong?
There's no plate. It's been removed.
Why would there be a plate in the first place? This is a wax museum. Shouldn't everything here be a prop? Are you telling me she uses actual, like, murder evidence? Or crime evidence? It would explain why someone might have wanted this particular wax model. Or maybe one of the two Max models in here. Although they did take the one from the grave and not the one with the camera. And maybe they also wanted a better, clearer option for getting... I don't even know. But why did they take... Okay, well wait. No, they kidnapped the one coming out of the grave. Why did they not take this one? Do they think he had the photo print? I mean, I guess that's possible. Maybe that's why it's missing. What a pity. But I suppose if you think about it, this wouldn't be the actual camera that was used at the time, just like the waxwork isn't the actual person. So we'd never have found a photograph or print of the executed convict coming back to life anyway. Although if it was real evidence, that would explain the police presence. Why there was like an actual policeman guarding the place.
Oh, yes, you're quite right, of course.
Poor Susato-san. She looks devastated.
What a wonderful machine.
You really love contraptions like this, don't you?
Oh, yes, anything mechanical I find absolutely irresistible.
Almost irresistible, Shirley?
Well, whenever I see a pocket watch, for example, I can't help myself. I simply have to take it apart.
That's worrying.
Yes, Father tells the time by the rumblings of his stomach now. He's given up having a watch.
Sounds like me when I was like 10. Or Professor Mikotoba.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo.
What is it?
On the bellows just here. There seem to be some very dark red stains.
Yeah, you're right. Looks like blood, actually.
Oh my.
I'm sure it's not what you're thinking. Uh-huh. Yeah, dark staining. Right, that's what we're just gonna leave it. Hey? Okay. Fair. Dark staining indeed. Can I show him the camera? No, okay. You know, it was a 50-50. I wonder if we can go back to the exhibition and see if Gina's back. Maybe she found the lab, now that we're done talking to Sholmes. I feel like we need to spend a little more time investigating. Okay. How did I not realize that, like, you get hints about where you should and shouldn't be? Oh, you know what? We didn't finish. We only investigate this, man. We didn't investigate the graveyard. That might be a good place to start here.
This must be the killer, the fiend known as the Professor.
Yeah, I think so. According to what Madame Tuspel said, he killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood.
Waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place.
I know. It looks like it could start moving at any moment, doesn't it? If only it had a head, that is. Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. Ah!
So this is the condemned man.
Yes, the so-called professor.
Then perhaps his head was chopped off by a guillotine. But unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost.
Do you have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Mr. Sato? Anyway, I'm sure the model had a head once, but there's a metal fitting for it, see?
Then perhaps Mr. Sholmes absentmindedly forgot to reattach it?
That's an extremely absent-minded thing, you detective you're describing, isn't it?
Or perhaps the thief absentmindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned it to the museum?
And that would be an extremely absent-minded thief. Could there have been some reason why only the head wasn't returned? Well, whatever the reason, it means we don't know what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? Oh. There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket. Here. It looks like a piece of broken glass. And quite a big piece, too.
It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glazing, I'd say.
Where could such a thick piece of glass have come from, I wonder?
I suppose it must have been made thick to increase its strength.
But why?
Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as in a big building, for example.
Ah, well, we've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? And some of the glass was broken too.
You don't mean...
Exactly. Crystal Tower at the Great Exhibition.
Why would glass from the Crystal Tower be lodged inside this Waxworks jacket?
It makes you think, doesn't it? So this, mannequin might have been at the Crystal Tower then. Can we not, like, ask Sholmes where he found the mannequin? Or did, like, the perpetrator bring the mannequin back to the museum after the telephone call? Earlier in court, we established that the kinesis experiment was a trick. Now we discovered this fragment of glass here in this waxwork. Is it just a coincidence? I think that's it here. Uh-oh. Oh, you're here.
What the... They didn't know it, Otto! What have you gone and done?
Gina, what are you doing here?
I asked Iris, and she said this is where you'd be, so... Gina, not so loud in the museum.
Madame Tuspels will have you take a position as a waxwork if you're not careful. I think there might be more pressing concern.
I still had some flash powder left from 6 months ago, so... Alright, Gina, we understand, but please, put down the gun. Sorry, I got scared.
You should try being the one on the other end of the barrel. So, what brings you here, Gina?
What brings me here? What'd you think? We found it! We found that dodgy Cave's workshop!
What? You found Trevor's workshop?
Yep! Toby's nose took me straight there. Boss and the others are heading over now in the drag, so come on. Here's the address. I got the boss to write it down.
Right, yeah, because you only know the first 5 letters of the alphabet.
Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way there at once. Alright then, See you there.
Can she really become a detective if she can't even write the alphabet?
Hugo, don't mind me. I'll just stay here, being still. What? I know my place. In the exhibit over there.
Oh dear, someone is feeling sorry for himself.
Let's go, Mr. Sholmes. You're coming.
Your words heartened me, I must say, but if I were to shirk my duties here, Madame would have me pay monetary recompense and Iris's dinner plate would be empty once more.
Forget that. I'll pay for everything.
Then there's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hail a carriage at once.
No offended to share the cost for Mr. Sholmes, then.
I shall gladly pay half, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, okay, wait. He just said he was going to pay for everything, and then he complains that Sholmes was like he was hoping for Sholmes to take pity on him, despite saying he has literally zero money. I don't know what you were expecting there, Nosuke, but I don't think you had any chance in the first place. Thank you, Mr. Sato. Right, let's go. Whoa! They building another one? Or is that like a prototype? That looks like...
Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
Indeed, it would appear so, though only a prototype, naturally.
What's he got you then? Gina, well done for finding this place. And in such little time. You've really worked miracles. Must Toby here, who's the miracle worker?
Ah, I thought you locked my shop for long.
Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. It looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. Maybe he just put too much lemon on his fish and chips.
So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer?
Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us a chance to investigate.
According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue that you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say, go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I?
Thank you.
Well, anyway, if you're open to snoop around in here, I'll get cracking. Lord Van Six and the forensic investigation team are on their way as we speak.
Them again?
Oh, I imagine you got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to lawyer types.
Right.
So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. And you, Sholmes. Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers. Ha 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 ha. Very droll, Gregson. Very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model.
Right then. Let's see what we can find in here. What on earth is this?
An aeroplane, Mr. Naruhodo. One day scientists believe it will allow humans to fly freely in the skies.
Is that how the trick will be described, is it?
Sorry?
Well, it's actually suspended by a thin but very strong cable, isn't it?
Oh, well, this model is, yes, but a real airplane would actually fly high in the sky.
Well, suspended from somewhere even higher in the sky, of course.
Yeah, how do you think the cable would get up there?
Is there even another cable above it that's even higher? That's holding that one up? And then you got one above that that's holding it up too? because large metal objects obviously can't really stay in midair unsupported.
So to you, the solution is ever taller towers?
I mean, isn't it obvious? Metal boxes flying in the sky. Impossible. Did I miss something when I was AFK? Is Gregson going to gay pair? Yeah, he's getting relocated. It doesn't sound like a bad relocation. I don't think he's getting like fired or anything like that, but it's likely he asked to go there in fear of the Reaper. Because he's planning to take Gina with him when he goes. But Gina doesn't know yet. He hasn't told her. So they were both going to move to Paris, probably in an attempt to escape the Reaper.
Ah, this appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say?
It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. I've no doubt that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away.
It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor.
Ah.
Would you like a massage?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
I had no idea it was such a grand thing.
I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Mr. Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks.
Couldn't agree more, my dear madame. And how about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course.
He's not gonna let that go, is he?
It's curious though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times.
Alright. I mean, I guess it proves that he actually does know science then, if we take that trophy as legit, right?
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. That machine is covered by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. There would be serious repercussions if you were to examine it, from the Crown and the government.
I'm guessing those laws only apply to me. Well, those two don't seem to be holding back. And Gregson just lets them.
It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices of deception be seen, my dear fellow.
No loose change dropped on the floor or nothing. Not even a bone for Toby, eh? My dear fella. British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they?
I think that's just these two, Mr. Sato. It's a European-style quiver of arrows, with steel bolts inside.
Oh, do you suppose?
Crossbow bolts, these. One just the right size for the bow you lot turned up at the exhibition grounds.
In other words...
Yup, that's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam.
Is that the door we came in from? This door doesn't want to open.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it.
There's a specialist locksmith on his way over from the yard, so hands off until he gets here.
With permission, Inspector, I could have that lock open in less than a minute.
Well, you don't have permission, and no one's giving it to you.
Gregson looked as though he really enjoyed that.
Well, there's no sign of anybody on the other side.
No, Drebber must have fled at first sign of danger. Spoke a little too soon. Guess it wouldn't be a Phoenix Wright game without some sort of kidnapping. Is something wrong, Mr. Sato?
Well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Well, Gina, did you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it and all. What do you reckon, Toby?
Right, mind the grease. Whoever's in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard.
That's... I think that made them even more scared.
Oh my, someone is in there.
Ah, this rotten, bleeding lock. My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago, if only it were countenanced, I could unlock that door in less than a minute. Fine. I'll take the rap for it. Just get us through that blasted door. There, you may enter at will. You've confused minutes with seconds, I think. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Nothing for it, I suppose. Was this an emergency? There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you all seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow.
Yes. What's happened in here? Why is everything upside down?
What? There's no one in here after all. But there must be. It was only moments ago that we heard those noises.
Maybe that's the sound of Trevor running away.
But there's only one door into this room.
And no windows that could afford an escape route. Those skylights are too high.
I don't know, I think someone could have climbed on that dresser and jumped up to them. What's that up there? Are they footprints on the ceiling?
Blow me. What do we have here then? Looks like someone is trying to burn something in a hurry.
Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints.
To what?
Well, to that Professor Hairbrain's bonding machine, is it? Blimey! If we'd had these, there'd have been no need to muck about trying to investigate all that scrap metal. There is something of great interest here too. This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar.
A rope? What's significant about that?
Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo.
We must investigate the entire room thoroughly, and before the forensic investigation team arrive too.
I feel like we're about to hit the jackpot in evidence. You wanna disarm that bomb, maybe? I mean, you were so good at the lock earlier. I figured you'd be perfect for the bomb too.
Almost every piece of furniture is upside down.
Even Mr. Sholmes' suite is never in this much of a mess.
You're in no position to comment on mess, Mr. Naruhodo.
But I suppose it's not quite the same thing, is it? I mean, it's not messy in here per se, it's that everything is literally upside down.
But why?
There's no denying it, is there? They're footprints.
Yes, it would appear so. And I simply can't imagine how they came to be there.
Isn't there a Susato's shoot up or something like a Susato takedown? I mean,
I'm no Wonder Woman, Mr. Naruhodo.
that would make her almost superhuman, I suppose. That's a really lovely model. It looks just like a real flying balloon.
I think it's probably staying aloft on the same principle as a full-size balloon, using gas.
A green flying balloon. It does have the hallmarks of that amazing deception at the Great Exhibition, doesn't it? Could it be that the whole thing was planned here in this very workshop? I think that's pretty obvious at this point. That's a very large safe. I don't suppose even Mr. Sholmes could open that lock. Although, if you were a thief, you could just steal the entire thing, I suppose. That would be pretty hard.
It's bolted to the floor to prevent exactly that sort of underhand trick, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well then, you could just steal the floor as well, I suppose.
I'm sorry, but you really aren't making any sense at all. Anyway, I think we can agree that whatever is inside must be very important.
I don't know, I think he's kind of got a point. You know, just take a saw to the floor, cut it up, and you just take the whole thing with you, and then you can figure out how to get into it later. Or, you know, if you have a wrench, maybe you can unbolt it. Anything else here before we click on the bomb? Mr. Sholmes, have you found something?
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, in point of fact. I have something rather fascinating. What do you make of this?
Let's see. I've never seen anything like it before. It looks like a bundle of thick cigars wrapped in a... Mr. Sato, what's the matter?
That's a... Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it?
What did you say?
A time bomb?
Sorry, but what is a time bomb exactly?
You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo.
I won't take that as a compliment.
You know nothing, do you, Odo?
You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina?
I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance.
Oh, well, thank goodness. But then, what is it?
I see. So that's it.
Oh, goodness, Mr. Sholmes, have you seen to the heart of the matter?
There are times when I consider my lot most unfair. For I'm fated to never know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Mr. Sato.
Here we go. Feel a great deduction coming.
Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself.
Oh, but how could you...
And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is, without question, completely genuine.
But it's not a time bomb. It just looks like one?
Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything.
It would be a pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade.
His face is great. He's going like, he's doing that full Luigi, that one frame in the cartoon. I don't know if you should be doing that with Susato and Naruhodo here. It's probably a bad idea. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea anyway.
Oh, you deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done.
You're too kind, my dear madame. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly just stand there, Mr. Sato.
Oh, yes, I'd be delighted.
So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
So how's he going to determine this room was flipped?
It is plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, and the chairs, and the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had, until recently, been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor.
Every item in the room was on the ceiling. Are you suggesting that?
Indeed. The key here is gravity.
Oh, here we go.
It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. For the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality.
Don't tell me that's what the bomb is for.
The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Mr. Sato. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device, almost identical to one that featured in a dream of mine only the other day, in fact.
But why does it have a clock on it?
A most relevant question indeed. Well, that is a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. Well, there is clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. Well, the commotion we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment that restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. So you see, we need look no further to explain the state in which we now find this room. The direction in which gravity acts here and here was reversed by Mr. Drebber before being restored to normality in an automatic fashion sometime later by the time device. I have witnessed precisely the scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed.
Oh, that definitely makes it true then, of course.
Now, let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads.
Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up here on the ceiling?
A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madame. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Drebber's aim was singular, to escape. However, there is but one way into this room. Excepting the skylight, that is.
Okay, is he gonna say like he flipped gravity so that he could walk on the ceiling, open the skylight, and then leave, and then gravity flips back to normal so he doesn't fall into space?
By inverting the gravity in here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling and make his escape via the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind on the way.
But the ceiling here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. If the gravity reversal was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Drebber have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently?
Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was concerned with nowhere to run, was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was his only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Oh, the rope.
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one end to the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. Which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now. Just for fun.
No, wait until we leave the room first, maybe.
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle.
Well, it seems Gregson's speechless. That's a good sign. And she wasn't even paying attention. She's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, there's just one thing that troubles me. I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. Well, the thing is such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean. I would say that with man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. So it's impossible then, because, I mean, wasn't he the one that told us directly that instantaneous kinesis was impossible? But your whole deduction hinges on it. Ah, but my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth, however improbable it may seem. Yesterday you said instantaneous kinesis wasn't possible. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more enduring pearls of wisdom. I'd always come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy. Yes, I have a feeling I read it in something that Mr. Sato lent me once.
Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, the spell's broken at last.
The rope you found was on the floor, wasn't it?
Indeed it was, in a lonely corals near the wall.
But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape the way you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall?
Mysterious inevitability unravel in the end. Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find, do ropes. And as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we face in this room, now skillfully unraveled. That argument is as circular as the coils of rope.
I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure some minor corrections at Great Deduction will lead us to the truth.
Yes, you're right. And we must do it quickly, before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. If you're ready, then let us resume. Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. With the bed, the table and chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned in the ceiling, before falling straight down into the floor.
Every item in the room was on the ceiling? Are you suggesting that...
Indeed, the key here is gravity. It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth. For the gravity in this room was reversed, and then suddenly restored to normality.
Goodness.
The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business.
I think gravity could have been reversed in this very room. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Sholmes could conceive of such an explanation.
But the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so...
Yes, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once.
Oh, that's unusually merciless of you, Mr. Sato.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective said so himself said so, didn't he?
While refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices.
Yes, I suppose so.
Well, let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. Alright, what can we look at from here?
All the furniture in here is very conspicuously upside down, certainly.
Yes, it does immediately put you in mind of some strange quirk of gravity, I admit.
Could it be that mini whirlwind passed through here, you think?
I'm not sure that's much more plausible than Mr. Sholmes' explanation.
Oh dear, saying the first thing that comes into your head isn't the way forward here, it seems.
Oh, the safe, is that different? I mean, obviously the safe wasn't affected, it's bolted to the floor.
Oh, look, Mr. Sato.
When everything seems to be upside down in here, the safe is conspicuously the right way up. Have you noticed?
Yes, that's true. But look more closely at the safe's feet.
Ah, that's a lot of very large bolts fixing it to the floor. Think before you speak. That's what you wanted to say, isn't it? I really put my foot in my mouth there.
I certainly didn't say that.
Wait, did I skip a line back? No, I didn't. Would it be the safe then? That would have... Wait, this is also upright. Hang on. Okay, the safe is one thing. That's got bolts. What the hell's wrong with this then? Well, wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers in here, that's for sure. Completely undisturbed flower vase.
Look at that.
I know. That slender little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. Somehow makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say?
To be honest, Mr. Naruhodo, something else about it made a rather deeper impression on me.
That's gotta be it. This doesn't look to be bolted to the floor, and yet it's undisturbed. The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you've surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps? No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes. Trust me. As you rightly say, though it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down, this unassuming slender vase is standing keenly to attention. Even if someone like manually put all the furniture upside down, I'm surprised they didn't knock over the flowers. And unlike the large safe, there's nothing affixing it to the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, as much as it pains me, the gravity in this room was never inverted at all. My deepest sympathies for your loss.
Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes.
But the show must go on. So, let's continue with our deductions. Now that we know this contrivance is not in fact an anti-gravity device, there remains one other possibility. You don't say. Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. And namely, why would anyone choose to do that? Quite. And naturally, there is an explanation. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. I don't know about that. He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he?
I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong.
Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all this furniture over. So whoever it was must have a reason.
I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though.
Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. We've already established that gravity wasn't actually reversed in here, haven't we? In other words, this isn't an anti-gravity device at all.
Which makes me very curious to know what sort of device it is. But I think for now it's clear we're looking for an answer elsewhere.
Look, there's something written on the underside of the armchair.
Oh, yes. Safe 432582.
Safe? As in, safe and secure?
As in secure lockable box, I think.
Admittedly more likely.
Well, there is a large safe bolted to the floor on the other side of the room, so yes.
So you mean this number would let us open it?
Wonder why it's in here, though.
Yeah, that seems like a bad place to put it. I mean, anyone could find that.
Take that!
It's a bomb? What's a bomb? I've never heard of this thing called a bomb. Is that what those red tubes are supposed to be? What's that gonna do to us? Yes, the only reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely. I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you had a very similar experience once, didn't you not? Yes, last year, when I brought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside of the cover of the book just in case. That's it. For people are forgetful souls at heart, and always make a written note of important information. Wouldn't the number be printed on the ticket? Because, like, anyone could write down any number in a book and claim it was their number.
Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think.
Dynamite? I don't know what that is either. These newfangled inventions, I can't keep up with them. Where did dynamite come from? Yeah, it doesn't sound like some invention they would have had in Japan. Is that some American thing?
And what prayed happened next, Mr. Naruhodo?
When the day of the draw came around, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my room upside down to find it.
That's it. For people are forgetful souls at heart and always forget where they've noted things down.
Not if you always note things in the same place.
I actually won the second prize, you know.
But I couldn't remember which magazine I'd slipped the ticket into, so I had to thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. But I believe I've proved my point now. Which is that a very similar scenario has clearly unfolded in this room.
Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he'd written it on the underside of a piece of furniture, but he forgot which one.
Leading to the state in which we now find the room. Yes, Mr. Drebber overturned all the furniture in here in a desperate hurry to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe.
How much you want to bet he's in the safe? Like, we're gonna open it and we're gonna find him in there.
Now, let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer's friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads.
Yeah, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up on the ceiling?
A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madame. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight.
Well, if a change in the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how did those footprints get there?
Yeah, I feel as though a particular mystery has just become even harder to solve.
I can't think of any other way to explain it all. Ooh, life was so much simpler in those halcyon days when gravity could be reversed.
It was minutes ago, and those halcyon days never existed in the first place.
Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the area in more detail.
You know, faith in Mr. Sholmes is what got us into those situations in the first place. Those wonderful halcyon days. Okay. Well, that just raises more questions. This is a gas balloon, isn't it? It's tiny, but it does seem to be a real balloon.
Yes, I think you're right. I mean, it's helium that keeps it let's keep eating it up.
Green gas balloon. Why does that seem to ring a bell with me?
If you can see, there are footprints on this balloon too. Look.
Oh yeah, surely that's a clue, isn't it? Though what it tells us, I'm not sure.
Take that!
No? Okay. I don't know, maybe like the balloon... the shoe was on the balloon. Maybe he was like riding up the balloon somehow. Look, I mean, it's kind of small. I didn't think it would hold his weight, but I was willing to give it a shot. Being able to fly freely in the sky, that has been mankind's dream for centuries. And of course, the balloon is the invention that's made that dream come true. Mr. Drebber, clearly a man of dreams, used the balloon to ascend the ceiling and plant his feet on the roof. Sounds even dumber than anything Sholmes would come up with. I take no pleasure in delivering bad news, but the undeniable truth is, it's clearly too small.
I knew you were going to say that.
My dear fellow, then you are twice the fool. If people could fly in small balloons, why would anybody ever manufacture larger ones? I despair of your lack of common sense at times, Mr. Naruhodo. That really hurts, coming from you. Alright, what else we got here? Clearly I got a little too confident about the balloon. Those footprints up on the ceiling really are a puzzle.
And they're so close to the skylight. It really is very hard to believe that the two are unrelated.
But perhaps we need to approach this from a different angle. Okay, well, what else can we do here? Let's examine the skylight, maybe. Looks like those are the only windows in the room. In other words, if you wanted to escape without using the door, these skylights would be the only way.
Yeah, that's true. But even so,
right next to the only escape route, we notice some telltale footprints.
Nevertheless, as we've said many times now, gravity can't explain how they got there.
But powerful springs in the soles of man's shoes could.
Have you been having strange dreams as well, like Mr. Sholmes?
I feel like that would just be impractical. Is there anything else over here to click on then? So there's a skylight. There's the balloon. Oh, the shoe is not part of the balloon. Okay, no, that's fair. That makes sense. It's hard to believe, but there's a shoe up there. Look.
Oh, yes, and there are more footprints on this little balloon too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became launched, do you think?
If so, then judging from the number of footprints, it must have been thrown up several times. They kept missing? Why was he so adamant on lodging the shoe up there then? Why would anyone be throwing shoes up at the ceiling though?
Oh dear, that's beyond me, I'm afraid.
It's gotta be the shoe.
Take that!
Throwing his dirty shoes around the room. Maybe there's something in the shoe. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe. And on closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon.
But for what purpose?
A green balloon. That seems somewhat familiar data.
It was a piece of green balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruhodo and Iris found at the scene.
And inside the green balloon that Master Gotz claims he saw above the stage when the incident occurred was the second birdcage, the crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception.
You mean to say...
We are to assume the balloon here is a model of the one used on that day. There's a strong possibility something may be concealed inside it. So why the shoe? Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway. But the balloon's out of reach. Hence why he resorted to a projectile, and namely the shoe. Oh, he thought by throwing a shoe up there it would, like, be enough weight to push the balloon down? Man, that's like me trying to play fucking contraptions, using the damn cat as a bowling ramp to launch things. Just use the rope. You had a rope on you. Can you not, like, just lasso the balloon?
Most probably, Trevor intended to tear a hole in the envelope by sailing it with the shoe.
You have a quiver of arrows outside. I guess maybe you were working on it. You only started thinking of doing it after the police announced themselves to be in your workshop. So you want fair. At the same time, though, I see like 5 of 6, 7 other objects in this picture alone that would have probably been much easier and more effective to use than a shoe to take that balloon down.
However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights.
Ah, man, if only he had a second shoe on him, but you know, shoes just don't come in pairs. We only ever have one of them.
Oh dear, we desperately need to examine that balloon. If only there was some way we could see inside.
You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Oh, the rope.
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope?
Oh, well, we're gonna say we're disagreeing on this because I agree with the rope. That's a perfect thing to be using here.
Mr. Sholmes has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope.
Alright, I have to admit, that was clever. So we just throw the rope up to the balloon and then pull it down to us on the ground?
Which is much easier said than done, I feel. And could take us a very long time as well.
No, it wouldn't. Okay, here's what you do. You take one end of the rope. You don't even need to tie it into a lasso, actually. You take one end of the rope, you throw it up, it goes over top of the basket. There's strings on each corner of the basket, so if you just throw it over enough, and then you pull the other side, now you have 2 ends. You just pull it down. If the weight of the rope itself isn't enough, then you can just pull it down because now you have it in a sling. It would be so easy. I could probably throw that rope over there first try. True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. I mean, hell, if you're really scared, just put a little weight on it. There's lots of things around here you could tie it to. In fact, we already have one, of course, don't we? To reach the intended destination, what better tool than a rope? Well, okay, now we can just shoot it. We do have the crossbow on us, I guess. I mean, he didn't have that, but again, you have the bolts. You could have just chucked one. It's not that far. Man's never played darts. He's English. Presumably he's English. He's ever been to a pub to play darts? They had darts back then, didn't they? I think we gotta be using the crossbow here.
Take that!
I mean, fuck, you tie the rope to the crossbow even. Then we can use both the ideas. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow?
That was found at the scene, in fact.
And in all likelihood belongs to Mr. Trevor.
If the man had only brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing his shoe at such a critical time as this.
I don't know, I think he could have just done it fine with the rope. But you know, someone comes knocking on your door, announcing their Scotland Yard. You start panicking. I get it.
So, shall we? Your curiosity is deeply stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon?
Let's find out. Is that the head we're looking for? What the? Might be. A waxwork? What do you mean he had a helmet on?
Indeed it was. A waxwork head inside the metal mask. A mask that is shut tight and fastened with a strong and quite impenetrable lock.
So we can't see inside the face inside, that means.
Just a moment. This is the head of a waxwork model? Does that mean... Oh, goodness.
I see you've joined the dots, Miss Susato. Excellent.
Of course. A headless waxwork model. The case of the abducted Madame Tuspel's model that you largely solved. It was only the head of the killer that was still missing.
Indeed it was. But I believe Madame Tuspels will now have to settle her sizable account with me. This, as you have now surmised, is the head of the infamous professor.
Yes.
But why is it here?
Someone really doesn't want anyone to find out their identity.
This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tuspel's and returning it, sans tête, earlier today was none other than an Enoch der Ebbe.
Like, this guy was probably wearing that helmet in prison during court. That's why he had the court was a private court. It was a closed court, not open to the public. He didn't want anyone to know his identity. This is incredible. Professor Harebrain's case and the waxwork abduction are... they're inextricably linked by Enoch Drebber's workshop. Are we just going to ignore the bomb on the floor? I mean, I guess clearly it's not lit, right? And apparently the timer's not going off. He said it wasn't a time bomb, so I'll take his word for it. How about the safe? We're not going to open the safe? Code's right there. Might be worth a try.
Well, it appears our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure.
The architect?
You mean Mr. Drebber?
As it seems quite impossible to escape via one of the skylights, obviously the man must still be here in the room. And his location should be abundantly clear. If you simply reflect on the journey we've made together during this abduction.
Enoch Drebber is right here, somewhere in this room?
So, Mr. Naruhodo, will you do the honors?
Oh, yes, of course.
Mr. Drebber's hiding place must be the...
Take that!
You know what? It didn't even occur to me that could have been the giant closet. Like, okay, first of all, let's address the fact that this man single-handedly flipped an entire wardrobe looking for a safe code on the bottom. Barring that for a second, why didn't he just go in there in the first place instead of having to flip the whole room? Like, was he worried it was going to be too obvious and that we were going to find him instantly? Instead, he's like, no, I gotta find the safe code. They're never gonna find me in the safe. It's perfect. Before we gain access to this back room, we heard noises from in here.
Which tells us that the engineer was still in the building at that point in time.
He was in fact searching for the combination to his safe.
And pressed for time, he made no attempt to right the furniture that he overturned in the process. And from which we can deduce that the search for the combination happened very recently indeed.
So was the bomb supposed to be a trap and he just forgot to light it? A little absent-minded of a suspect, eh?
In summary, Mr. Enoch Drebber is at this very moment inside the safe. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle.
Absent-minded professor. And suspect. Let's call it how it is. This guy's super suspicious. Probably guilty too, but at the very least suspicious.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide-and-seek, don't you?
By opening the safe, you mean?
What else?
Let's see. The combination was
432582.
I knew that. Alright then, here goes. Good luck opening the safe. You know what? I'm glad we don't have to do that ourselves. Safe puzzles, they've never agreed with me. Wrote combination safes like this.
You found me.
What the fuck? Oh, this man's great. I can't wait to see him in court tomorrow. I can't wait for the breakdown. It's gonna be amazing.
Right then, sir. Mr. Enoch Trevor, I presume?
Correct. You better start talking. You tricked Professor Hairbrain with that bogus machine you built.
And she'll have to explain the theft of the waxwork from Madame Tussbells as well.
Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions. Personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first.
Deactivate?
Your parcel?
I refer, of course, to the time bomb. I left it in the most prominent position. Ha, ha. I see. Stunned silence. You are all gearing up to die with me then?
Mr. Sholmes, with only 7 seconds to spare, that was too close for comfort. I've got one foot in the grave already.
Are you trying to help us get a killer or get us killed?
Mr. Sholmes' deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they?
Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. The resemblance to an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say.
Oh yeah, I mean, anyone would be confused. I totally get it. Like clockwork? Fuck. Wait, what was his name again? We gave him a name, right? He's on the thing now? Enoch Trevor. Okay. See, I was like trying to figure out the last name, but now after seeing him, the first name was all we needed. Like, that's a measurement of time, isn't it?
Anti-gravity devices don't exist.
Yeah, just like planes. I wouldn't push it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright, let's talk to this guy. I could almost understand how he was able to flip the entire wardrobe single-handedly. Probably literally, given his hand. What on earth happened in here?
You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, well, we'll be giving it a thorough going over, don't you worry, Trevor. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt.
Whistling?
Ah, that would have been me.
Oh,
For some reason, I woke in fine fettle today.
No words, just tightly squeezed chips. What are you mad about? You're the one that went knocking on the door, announcing this is the police, as if that would have been perfectly fine on its own. Blaming his whistling.
Clearly I must have screwed loose, though, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I'd written it down.
We also found a rope over by the wall.
Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. So, I then sent about searching for the combination code to open the safe. And burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably, though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters.
And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe? Having first set this parcel ticking?
Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police.
No, I think they would just unscrew you. I don't think they would have anything to do with nails.
Got a death wish, have you? Wanna right beside a ticking time bomb?
I think he might have expected to be safe in the safe.
Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe. It's specially designed.
A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it. I guess that does make sense, compared to the wardrobe. So in fact, the safe was the only safe place. Precisely.
Once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again.
I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be unlocked from within. Oh, so it is. I have always intended to blow this place to smithers in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans.
Do you mean to say you were planning to blow us all up?
No, that was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. I calculated the time required for retreat to a safe distance, and set the device accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spanner in the works. Is something wrong, Gregson? Do I have something on my face? Besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth? He's not gonna respond to that. I think we have a fairly good idea of what's been going on here now. But what about the two incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Harebrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment at the Great Exhibition. And the waxwork model you stole, which this head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That is the head of the Professor. Clad in a mask with a lock so strong, I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. You single-handedly flipped an entire wardrobe, but you're telling me you can't rip the head off? I guess the police are here. I jumped inside the safe. Sounds like a Batman thing. I was thinking Indiana Jones, like when he climbed into the fridge to avoid the nuke. That's what it reminded me of. Maybe not quite as drastic, but similar idea. Without dismembering the face inside. I mean, fair. But, you know, between his brains and his clear brawn, I'm shocked that he couldn't think of a solution. Then again, he did forget the safe code. And where he wrote it.
What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware that I've sold jurisdiction to investigate here.
Yes, well...
Dr. Scythe again. So the forensic investigation team are here.
And you know full well this engineer is a key witness.
Why are you allowing this lawyer access to him?
If Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished. You lot, leave at once.
My dear madame, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, there's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it, Dr. Scythe? Hello, Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe? What are the chances of Dr. Scythe being like a character from Sherlock Holmes as well? I wouldn't know. If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you are quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell, you...
Get out!
But of course, we'll show ourselves the door. So you haven't softened at all.
Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes? It would appear that our delightfully entertaining investigations have run their course for today. But Mr. Sholmes... Let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands. I said, get out. Now, all of you. Your presence here is not required either, Gregson.
Understood. Well, I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd have never found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There was a time bomb sent here, and it's lot disarmed.
Spectre.
So for giving you a chuckle, has it, Trevor?
Ah, so sorry. Didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you? What do you mean, didn't us? Yes, you did disarm that one.
What are you... That one? You mean...
Where's the other bomb? Oh. How long's it been ticking for? Oh shit. Oh, they're fucking dead. It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage of the Great Exhibition. Professor Harebrain's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever. Okay, well that was one hell of a twist. This guy's got it all figured out. Maybe he forgot the save combination? Clearly he knows what he's doing though. Obviously. Well, I guess that leaves us with, in the trial part 2, well, okay, part 3 technically, but you know, day 2 of the trial, as it were. Can't wait to see his breakdown. I mean, I don't know, he seems very likely to be the culprit, you know, day 2 suspect. Classic culprit material for Phoenix Wright games. His breakdown's gonna be amazing, though. If it's even half as amazing as that introduction, that'll be great to see. I mean, nothing is going to top Means from Game 5, but it's still going to be really good. I think Means is still unfair. You know, it's funny. I should have made a tier list of all the breakdowns. I'm not going to, but I should have. I regret not keeping track of those two. That would have been pretty fun. Because there's some amazing breakdowns in this series, and honestly, I think Means like tops the list of all of them, but I'm looking forward to this, guys. But you know what? I'm not gonna get too hyped up because I've been disappointed before. I've like said like, oh man, this character's gonna have an amazing breakdown, and it's like kind of normal. Maybe it has its moments, but it's just like it's not super crazy. This guy though, he's prime material for a great breakdown. He's gonna do the robot. He's gonna like fall apart into a million pieces. I want his hand to like just dismantle itself. Like, just fly apart in his face. That's what's going to happen. Or it's going to go, like, out of control or something. I'm waiting for that to happen. You got to do something like that with a clockwork arm like that. Alright. Well, there's our investigation for the day. That's good. That means we're back on, like, even pace here. That means we can actually do the trial part and have it be the end and have the stream end at the end of the case. That what was it, 5-part case we had for case 2? I was like really worried that was just gonna mess up the whole flow of the playthrough, because now we were on like this weird odd even thing. But no, good. We were able to get back on track here. We took a whole stream to do this investigation. It was a pretty lengthy investigation too. Had some good moments. It actually felt like I was investigating, which is pretty crazy considering some of the other investigations in this game so far. Anyways, that will be it for today. I hope everyone enjoyed this part of Phoenix Wright. We will continue with the day 2 of the trial next Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I'll be back on Thursday with what might be the penultimate or the penultimate stream of Mario 64 B33. And then, of course, Minecraft will continue this Friday. I think I got the performance issues we were having at the end of last stream figured out, so hopefully those won't happen again. I'll be able to explain more when I stream the game. And then next Monday we will have our possibly last episode of Tevi, at least before the DLC comes out. Who knows? But we are getting close to the end of a lot of games here, so get ready for some new stuff coming out very soon, I would imagine. But in the meantime, thank you for watching tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed, and I will see you next time.